Hey people, welcome back to another video on Roblox Trendy. Scamming is a terrible thing a person could do to their fellow players, but the reality is that there are a lot of scammers out there on the loose in the platform. Here are 5 ways people are getting scammed in Roblox so you can be aware. But before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming content. Alright, now let's jump into it. I personally don't get the idea behind a failed trade at all, but if anyone goes for it, I won't really blame them for their option. What I've usually seen is that people fail trade because they either feel bored or they just find it fun trading with someone, but they don't wish to give up their items. Regardless of why people fail trade, it has become a very common practice among scammers to use the concept of a failed trade to scam people into giving their precious items. Essentially, they come up to you and ask you to fail trade, and their appearances or the way they talk don't give out any negative vibes, so people tend to accept those failed trades. But since scammers are so used to deceiving people in the game, they run off as soon as they get the item. They promise that the trade is going to fail, but actually it doesn't, and this ends up in honest and decent people being robbed of their precious items. Trading in general has become one of the easiest tricks on the shelf of a scammer. Despite the benefits that we could potentially get from trading inside the platform, the way scammers are out on the loose looking out for any prey to come in their way is definitely a threat. And sadly, people have no control over their actions, it seems. There is an increasing trend in people these days where they go up to different individuals to trade their items. They present a rational and acceptable deal where they won't be apparently robbing the other players of the items. Everything seems fair and square until you notice that they haven't transferred the Robux to you yet. They then ask you to leave the game and join again, and within the time it takes you to do that, they're long gone. They also have supporters and friends who make it seem like the things they're offering are very special or something. Or they might also use an alt account for this purpose. I would suggest coming back to the game and warning other people of the potential threat. Another common scam these days are the games that basically trick you into giving them your personal info. And one particular reason why people usually don't see the red flags in the scam is because no one thinks a game could be built in a way that could properly scam you. But the reality is, there are tons of games on Roblox that have such shady features in them. One particular game that does this without any shame or reluctance is Roblox Gift. Now, the name itself should be the first factor that hits you about the game's problems, but just in case you missed the fault in the game, or if someone else made a game with a proper name, what comes inside the game should be evident enough. When you play a little bit of the game, it requires you to insert your Roblox account's password into the pop-up box that opens in front of you. If you choose to submit your username and password there, you might end up being scammed out of your items as well as your Robux, or maybe even your entire account. The solution to this method is pretty simple. No matter who asks for your password in the game, do not, under any circumstances, give it to them. Following this basic technique would actually save you from these predators. Coming up at number 2 is making friends online on the Roblox platform who aren't really friends of yours in real life, but act like they are to rob you off your valuables. You would come across a lot of people who would act like they're the most honest and helpful and kind people in the world, but in reality, they only have eyes for your items. Now, I'm not calling for boycotting any prospects of making friends online, but if you end up making friends, make sure you use caution and do not give them your personal information. And finally, another very commonly used method for scammers is that they make accounts similar to those of famous YouTubers, and they go out tricking people into believing they're the real deal. There's little you could do at the moment to find out their authenticity, but the general rule of thumb is, it seems quite abnormal of a rich and famous YouTuber to go around asking for help, doesn't it? So unless you are 100% sure about the person, do not give them the items for free. Make sure to follow this advice so that you don't fall prey to any of the tricks of a scammer. Well, this brings us to the end of our video. We hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't liked the video yet, it's never too late. Give it a thumbs up. We'll see you soon in another video. Until then, take care and goodbye.